Hi, it's me, Jordan Long, and today I'm going to talk about, this one thing that happens. Now, some folks out there might say, "Well, Jordan, what are you going to talk about?" So, and I know, well, this might not be a big deal for some folks out there, but for me it is a big deal. Um, you know, having 300 followers or so. Now, I know it's not a big deal for some out there, but it is for me. So anyway, it's been some time since I had anyone like this on my YouTube fairway. And now keep in mind that my YouTube fairway was taken or fostered from what Natalie Tang did on her YouTube fairway, but hell, what others do on theirs. So if you look on, all the folks that I got on my channel, on my fairway, then you know where I'm basing a lot, or where I'm fostering a lot of my work from. So anyway, someone out there might say that, oh well, you're a knockoff. Well, that might be true. But at the same time, how can I be a knockoff? I mean, first off, truly, how can I be a knockoff? No one knows how I can be a knockoff. I would guess the meaning of knockoff would be when someone or something seeks to be like that thing and they do everything that someone else did or whatever. They don't shift it up. They do the same thing. Like IW and AEW do when it comes to fostering WE stuff. And a lot of folks will say, oh, well, WE does that. They'll say everyone knocks off everyone's work. And I'm not going to say if that's true or not. I'm going to let that up to be your thought and belief. But like some folks say that IW and AEW are knockoffs of WE because they, and everyone might say, oh well, Jordan, you're nothing more than Natalie Tang knockoff, or you're this or that. Well, if that was true, then let's go talk about all the ways I cannot be a knockoff. Well, you have a Microsoft Windows reckoner with Microsoft Windows 10, and she has, I guess, a Apple Macintosh reckoner with Apple Macintosh OS. Yeah, a lot of folks tend to have that. She lives in Australia, and you live in the United States. Well, first, they're borrowed words. She lives in the down underland, and you live in the on the Irks. Yeah, Jordan said, you got that right, Peter. Oh, and another thing, Jordan, she's a living being and you're a doll. Oh, that's so kind of you to say that. I wouldn't have thought that was another thing that made me unlike her. And another thing is I guess I don't start out my film by saying hi like she does all the time. Or instead of her playing as herself and all her other selfhoods, it's me and other dolls. And I guess instead of going around doing all these cleaning and all these shifts in the film that she does, I don't do any of that. And another thing I do not have is, you don't have workers word time where you go read all the words from the last film while you're doing something at the end. That's something she did for all her films that you don't do, Jordan. You're right about that, Peter. You're right about that. So I guess I really don't not see myself as a Natalie Tang knockoff, or anything like that. And I guess they couldn't say you're a knockoff of all these other folks, YouTube fairways that you put on your YouTube fairway. You're not really like saying you're knocking them off. And yes, some of them are still making more films than others. But Jordan, you probably make more films than them. Yeah, true, Jordan said. True, Peter. And even if I haven't made any more films that they made, I'm gonna overtake them one day. Yeah, at least you made more films than she did. Yeah, well, I should feel happy about my work. I shouldn't be going out thinking I'm some kind of naggly tang followership fairway knockoff, which at the end of the day I'm not. Peter just told me right there many things that make me unlike her that some folks probably would already know. Yeah, and probably one of the biggest thing is I never walked away from YouTube. Well, there's another thing that makes me unlike her. She left YouTube in 2017 YL. Her last films were around that time, and she hasn't made any more films since then. Something that I'll never do, you know. So it is what it is. I'll never walk away from YouTube. So there's another thing that makes me unlike her. And I'm not here scathing her or putting her down for walking away from YouTube, but I'm just saying that's another thing that she did that I did not do. So at the end of the day, I do not think that I am some kind of knockoff of her. I may have fostered a lot of things from her films and other folks' films out there, but I wouldn't say I was knocking off. I'm Jordan Long, and I hope you like this film.